When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Whirlpool appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start, but you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Touch the new Whirlpool Ice Collection. It offers a modern style made to create an inspiring kitchen experience. Save big on this Whirlpool Black Ice or White Ice kitchen. Come into Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this, what is it, Thursday morning already? The week has gone by fast. Today we'll be talking about politics with our political guy here on Connect with Me, 436 MeTV option 11. In case you didn't hear or don't know or have been living under a rock, the president is scheduled to make his first Valley appearance ever tomorrow. We're back with your phone calls and your thoughts on this in a moment. Hey, your feedback is really important on this day because we want your thoughts and your comments, of course. 436 MeTV option 11. Do turn down the sound. Your thoughts and comments of the president and his first visit to the Central Valley, the San Joaquin Valley. Ever, what's he been in office now? About what, five and a half years? Almost 5.5 years. And he has never, up to this point, made an appearance here in Fresno or Madera or Visalia. He has not shown his face in this part of the country, at least, since his... I don't even think he showed his face here when he was running for office, but tomorrow all of that will change. He will pay his first visit to Central California. Let's go to the videotape and we'll take a look at President Obama. He will show up here in Air Force One. He will arrive at Fresno Yosemite International Airport. There is the president there, walking alongside Joseph Biden, the vice president. Joseph Biden will not be here, but the president will be here. There'll be no limousine service on this trip for the president. That means the streets in Fresno, Madera, Visalia, wherever he's going to be, it's a secret right now as to where he's going to appear, but no streets will be blocked off. Why? Because he will use Marine One to carry him to his secret location. Here's the sticking point. No one at this point knows where the president or exactly when he is going to arrive. Now, is he going to speak at a private function? Is he going to be at a fundraiser? Is he going to eat lunch at someone's house? We don't know that. By the way, Congressman Jim Costa and Senators Barbara Boxer and Dianne Feinstein are flying aboard Air Force One with the president en route to Fresno now. And Devin Nunes, our congressman here, David Valadao, not invited to fly aboard Air Force One. Why is he coming here? He is going to talk about the California drought, the lack of water, the lack of rain, the lack of snow, and what the government will do about it. Live in our studio right now is Bradley Hart. He is a political science and he's an instructor at Fresno State. He is our political expert. He also teaches broadcast news, television news, and the media, and whatnot at Fresno State. Anyway, your phone calls are important. 436 MeTV option 11. Do turn down the sound. What are your thoughts about President Obama arriving here in the Central Valley tomorrow? Secret plans. He is making no public appearance. We don't know when. The White House is releasing very few details at this point. So we want your input on this show. 436 MeTV option 11. We're back with our program on the president in just a moment.
Don't you ever hit me again!
I think we got a hit on our hands.
MeTV Fresno, now on Comcast Channel 187.
So why is the president going to arrive in the Central Valley if there's no public appearance? We don't even know where he's going to arrive. Well, we kind of know where. It's going to be at Fresno Yosemite International Airport, but where he's going after that, we have no idea. And exactly what time, we have no idea. It could be late morning, it could be early afternoon. We know that the airspace above the Central Valley within, a 30-mile radius for private planes blocked off. You cannot use that airspace to fly while the President of the United States is here in the Central Valley. Now, Bradley Hart is here from Fresno State. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you. So what do you make of all this?
I think this is politics at its very finest. I think what we have going on here is we have a situation in Washington, D.C. where we have a couple of drought-related bills that are making their way through the House and the Senate. These bills are obviously in conflict with one another, and I think the president is trying to weigh in on behalf of the Democratic Party's interests in that fight, as well as its interests in the Central Valley. Keep in mind, we're coming up on a congressional election. We have at least one district here that's very important to the Democrats.
Yeah, and, I'm not even sure that the president completely understands what our drought situation is here, because I have read articles where some people in Los Angeles don't even believe that we're in a drought.
Yeah.
So how well does he understand it? How well do the people outside of California understand it?
This is a great question. I mean, I was telling you earlier, I was in San Jose over the weekend, and I picked up a copy of the newspaper up there, and there's an editorial denouncing the Central Valley for taking all the Bay Area's water in that sense. So a very different perspective.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and actually mentioned Devin Nunes and the Central Valley Republicans in Congress who have been putting through this particular water bill that's now obviously deeply controversial and making its way through Congress. So I think you have a very different perspective out there. You have the perspective of people in Silicon Valley and the Bay Area who have tons and tons of water, also contribute in a large way most of the state's GDP in that sense. So yeah, we have a serious disconnect between these parts of the state that are economically and socially dominant in some ways and our part of the state, which is obviously a key part of feeding the world and one of the biggest agricultural areas on earth, and yet it's sort of tied into this wider sphere as well.
We're talking about the president's visit tomorrow here in the Central Valley, his first ever appearance in Fresno, Madera, wherever he's going to be. He's going to land at Fresno International Airport. 436 MeTV option 11 if you want to call in and weigh in. Let's roll the videotape. We have another piece of videotape as if you've never seen the president, but he's kind of walking with the vice president. So is this kind of a slap in the face to the people of the Central Valley not to be making a public appearance when he is talking about a very serious topic like the drought?
I don't know if we can read that much into it. I mean, if you look at past presidents, Clinton, the first and second President Bushes, they made on average one visit per term here. Second President Bush made two visits, I believe, early on in his first term.
But they made public appearances.
They made public appearances. President Bill Clinton, of course, went to a school when he was in Fresno.
I was there, I know. I remember that. I actually covered that event.
Yeah.
And, he stayed at the Piccadilly over on McKinley, if you recall. Ordered pizza, I think, the night before.
As he did in that period, probably jogged to McDonald's as well.
Yeah, the next morning he was jogging right by on McKinley. Yeah, we talked to him just for a few minutes. But this visit here, I mean, the first ever by Obama, like I said in the monologue, I don't even think he actually appeared in the Central Valley or paid a visit here during the time in which he was running for office.
I believe that's correct. No, I don't believe he did. I think most of the Republicans who were running for president last time did make an appearance, I believe, in Central Valley at some point, at least to raise money. I don't believe Obama ever visited during the campaign. I think the interesting aspect of all this is very much that point of how California has changed as a state, right? When Bill Clinton was president, California was still up for grabs. He was one of the first Democrats to win California quite a while at that point. Right. So much more electorally significant and potentially still even a swing state in the 1990s. Now, I don't think anybody believes realistically that a Republican could win this state in a presidential election.
And so does the president, and did the president in the last two elections consider California fairly insignificant, so that's why he spent very little time here campaigning?
I mean, absolutely. Didn't spend any time campaigning here, really. He spent a lot of time raising money in LA and San Francisco, though, because that's where the money is in that sense. I mean, there's money in the Central Valley for Republicans, not very much for Democrats. All that money comes out of Hollywood and comes out of Silicon Valley to that extent. So, yeah, California is more of a cash cow for the Democrats right now. Very little chance they would lose that in a national election.
So what do you read into this visit? What's your take on what's going on? Is this a photo op or what?
It's a photo op. I mean, he's obviously coordinated the time that he's here, late morning, early afternoon, to hit the network newscast on the East Coast to give the appearance of being out here and paying a visit to a very important issue that's going to become more important over the next year. I think there's also this political element in here where we have a couple of Democrats who are running for office in this election that having the president make a visit could help them out. Jim Costa being one, running for re-election this time, likely will visit part of Costa's district at least, and Costa's coming out on Air Force One, so we know that there's that element as well. We also have the Renteria-Valadeo situation in the South Valley. That's going to be an incredibly critical race, because if the Democrats have any hope at all of retaking the House, which is a very slim chance, they're going to have to win that seat.
Yeah. What do you make of the fact that Devin Nunes and Valadeo are not on Air Force One? They represent this valley too. They are Republicans. They are conservatives.
Yeah.
Is that the reason they were left off the list?
Presumably. I mean, it's the spoils system in the classic sense.
Yeah.
If you're a Democrat and the president is a Democrat, you get to ride on Air Force One. If you're not, you
Right.
get to take the coach flight back from Washington D.C. and meet him when he gets here. Type
I
of thing.
think when President Bush was in office, didn't he came here to visit the Sequoia National Forest? Did he not?
I believe so. He visited
And-
a small business in Dinuba as well.
Yes,
yeah.
and George Radonovich, who was in office at that time, rode with the president on Air Force One.
Correct, yeah, also
Obviously,
Republican.
Radonovich, a conservative Republican.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think the other thing is that Devin Nunes has quite a large profile in Washington, D.C. now. He was very outspoken during the government shutdown and sort of played both sides of that issue very effectively. So this is a guy who, in terms of congressman, is fairly well known. He has a national profile, and for Obama to be too closely associated with him could be negative for both Democrats and Obama, but also negative for Nunes, potentially. Maybe the Nunes people don't want to be too closely associated.
Is it correct for some people in the Central Valley to say, poo-poo on the president's visit because he's not making a public appearance? Who cares if he's here or not? It's a photo op. He's not going to accomplish anything. He's not going to solve our water problems with this visit.
Sure. Well, it wouldn't solve our water problems to have him make a public speech either in that sense. But
Right.
I agree, there's certainly a substantive difference. Yeah, I think this is purely, to show the flag type of situation. The closest or the most that virtually every president will see of the president will be Air Force One when it arrives at Fresno Yosemite International
And
Airport.
somebody, if they're lucky, might get a glimpse of him coming off of Air Force One.
Correct,
That's
yeah.
about it.
The media certainly will. The media
Yeah,
certainly
the
will.
media certainly will. No question about it. Bradley Hart is here from Fresno State, political science instructor out there. He also teaches the proper way to conduct yourself if you're a member of the media or want to be. Anyway, we're talking about President Obama's visit here tomorrow in the Central Valley. We do have a phone call. Let's take it. Good morning. You're on. Connect with me. Your question, please.
Yes, my question is, I've been listening to you and to your guest, and you haven't said one positive thing about this trip. It's all been negative. Then you say, why didn't he bring two Republicans? Those two Republicans are the most critical of the president and his administration. Why would you bring them? I mean, come on, let's face up to that.
What would
Now-
you like me? Now, let me ask you, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still
Okay.
here.
Let me ask you a question. What would you like me to
Yes.
say about the president and his visit
Well,
tomorrow?
I'd like to
What do
be.
you
I'd
want to
like
hear?
to be. Well, listen.
It's a photo op.
Let me
He's
answer.
not- Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, let me tell you, there's been a lot of controversy. There's the bill that the Republicans put in, and there's a bill that Feinstein is putting in, and he is going to weigh on one side or the other, and he wants to be here to listen to what's going on and what the people want.
He's not even
You know-
holding a public event. He's going to some secret location, and no one even knows what he's doing. If
It's not a
fun-
secret location, and that's not up to him. That's up to the Secret Service. And the other thing is, I just don't understand why you're not talking about positive things. You never do.
All right, what
I mean,
positive
it's
things do you want me
really-
to talk about? Seriously, what do you want me to
Well,
talk
the
about?
president's coming to our state. He's coming to our valley, and what you say is, well, he's never been here before, and he's taken California for granted, and you said all these things, and
Right.
that's not so. You
What
know,
isn't so?
California is in the Democratic circle, and any way you look at it, and that's not because of anything. It's what the Republicans have done. You know, you've got
So-
a governor.
So you're
You've got a
saying
governor
that the
here
Democrats...
that's had to clean up a mess of the last three Republican governors.
Okay, let me ask you
You
something.
know-
You don't think this state is controlled by Democrats?
It sure is.
Okay, and you're on that, I assume, on that political spectrum, so it depends on your viewpoint. If you're a conservative, you don't like the fact that he's coming here because it's kind of a waste of time. If you're a Democrat or a liberal who voted for Obama, you're waving the American flag. Hey, the president is here. So it depends on what side of the fence you sit on. Isn't that right?
That's exactly right. But my question is, what side of the fence do you sit on? Because
doesn't matter.
you're taking this. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
It does. You're taking the side of the conservative Republicans. You have nothing ever to say positive about Republicans, and I mean, about Democrats.
All right.
Never.
Here's the
and
thing.
That's all I have to say.
Everything I have said is true. The president is coming. That's true. The president has never been here before. That's true. He's arriving at the Fresno International Airport. That's true. No limousine. Streets are not blocked off. That's true. He's flying on Marine One. That's true. And nobody knows where he's going to appear. Now, what have I said that's not true?
Well, I think your caller makes a couple of accurate points here. Point one is, I think it is a bit unfair to tar the president with never having been here before. Again, other presidents don't exactly flock here historically. President Bush made only a couple of visits here.
Okay.
So I think that point is correct.
All
I
right.
think point two, absolutely the motivation is to play politics in that sense.
Right.
And again, as you said, it matters what side of the fence that you're on in that sense. If you support
Right.
the Republicans' drought bill, then obviously you oppose this. If you support the Feinstein and Boxer bill, then different.
Good morning. You're on Connect With Me. Your question.
Good morning, John. That man that just called you that said that why aren't you being a little bit better and announcing that Obama is coming to Fresno? Well, there's nothing positive about this president to begin with, so why should we in Fresno even care if he comes or not? He's the worst president we ever had, so I don't know what to be positive about this man.
I hate to interrupt, but see, now you just proved my point. It depends on what political spectrum, what side of the fence you're on.
Sure.
Okay, the caller previous to likes Obama, likes the fact that he's coming here. Caller now, this young lady who called up, says it's a waste of time. So it depends on where you're at, right, Bradley?
Absolutely, yeah, I completely agree in that sense. And I think, it's not an entirely pointless visit. I think we can downplay it too much. It is a great honor the president comes here. There are many places the president has not been in this country. It's a big country in that sense. So to the extent that the president is taking an active interest in this issue, I think that it's a very important and historical visit in that sense.
Okay, we're talking with Bradley Hart. 436 MeTV option 11 is the telephone number. Remember, do turn down the sound, and no matter what side of the fence you're on, you are welcome to call in. Doesn't matter. We're back with our program in just a moment.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Oh boy, just, talk politics, talk religion. Oops, I thought we had a phone call. Talk politics, talk religion, and first thing you know, you're going to be in a big argument. That's why you never talk about these topics at, say, your holiday gathering, right? Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah.
I guess it depends how good a boxer you are, whether you want to do that. But yeah, I mean, this is obviously a topic that gets people heated in that sense. But I think, looking at this objectively, this is not a big visit. The president is not making a big speech. He's not doing a town hall for any variety of reasons. But it is a great honor that he's coming to Fresno. I mean, I think we can all, no matter what side of the fence we sit on, just say it's remarkable that he's coming to Fresno. It shows that he's taking interest in this issue.
Right. Hey, and I do have a prediction before we go on to something else, and that is the fact that the local stations, 26, 24, 47, 30, my prediction is neither one will get a one-on-one interview with the president. If anybody does, it'll probably be Channel 30, but I don't even think Channel 30. So what you're going to have is reporters staked out at the airport, maybe at the secret location where the president is speaking, and they're doing a live stand-up telling us why the president is here.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. I mean, I think you will see some shots of the president getting off Air Force One. He may speak to the media briefly, but that would be the extent of it, yeah.
Yeah. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, hey, Mr. Malice, I was just wondering, didn't Mr. Obama or President Obama come on Cesar Chavez Day to the Cesar Chavez Memorial here in the Central Valley about 3 years ago now?
Yes, that is correct. He visited Kern County.
He hasn't been to the Central Valley when he actually has. And I would also like to say, it is a good thing that President Obama, I'm conservative. Maybe I'm conservative Democrat, you could say. But no matter how you see it, it should be a good thing that he's coming. Whether you're getting, either if it's a photo shoot, as you call it, or if it's some really good insight to a water problem.
Right. And I'm not saying I don't think I ever said it was a bad thing that he's coming. I said he's never been here before. Jim Costa, Barbara Boxer, and Dianne Feinstein are aboard Air Force One, but that's to be expected. Okay, they're Democrats. Devin Nunes and Valadao left out for obvious reasons. Hello?
Yeah. Well, and of course, Valadao is very politically endangered right now, right? I mean, this is a seat,
he's
again,
on the fence
Democrats.
himself.
Exactly. This is a seat the Democrats badly want to win. So to put him close to the president, and ironically, I mean, that could actually help the Democrats win back that seat if they can associate him too closely in that district.
GOP big victory in San Diego yesterday, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a fascinating victory. This is, of course, the Bob Filner seat, who had to resign after various sexual harassment revelations were made. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know what to make of that win. Obviously, this is the ultimate race for the opposition party in the sense that you have a discredited Democrat. It's an off-time election. You know, turnout was really the game here, and the Republicans were just better at it. And organizations from all over the state went down there to campaign.
All right, time to take another break here. Talking with Bradley Hart of Fresno State, and he knows politics, and we are going to continue our show, 436 MeTV option 11. And remember, turn down the sound when you do call in, and it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. You are more than welcome to call in here. And you know what? It doesn't cost you anything. Back in just a moment.
I love a joke.
Say, Lucy,
Yeah, Ricky?
a tramp came up to me in the street and he said he hadn't had a bite in weeks.
What'd you do, bite him? Opening butler joke, buddy, come on.
The master says to the butler, Jeeves, did you put fresh water in the goldfish bowl? And the butler says, why? They didn't drink up what I gave them last night.
You know that ancient joke about the guy who saves his regiment, shoots the cook?
No. How does it go?
Talking about the president's visit here tomorrow in the Central Valley, and it's going to be Fresno, Madera. We're not sure yet. The White House releasing very few details about his visit on Friday. Let's talk about John Boehner. He is the Speaker of the House. Of course, he's a Republican, a conservative. And the debt limit, of course, was in the news the last couple of days, Bradley. So, I mean, big deal. That's my reaction.
Well, it is a big deal to an extent. I mean, we've seen now, I guess in some ways, the ultimate capitulation on the part of the Republicans against the sort of conservative faction commonly called the Tea Party in that way. So it's going to be fascinating to see how that plays out, whether Boehner's speakership is in jeopardy now. We don't know.
Okay. Another call coming in. Good morning. You're on the show.
I just want to say, I think it's great. I mean, the Valley can't, no way that we can pay for this kind of free PR. For one day, I guess, tomorrow, the nation and the world, it's like the Pope coming to Fresno, you know what I mean? It's great. I think it's great. You know what I mean? You know,
okay.
Google's probably going to go crazy. Fresno what? We're going to be Googling Fresno all over the place. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. So I imagine a lot of people feel like that. But getting back to Boehner, so you think his speakership might be in jeopardy because?
Well, we're seeing all of these statements from these various Tea Party-associated groups around the country, and even in Congress, saying this is the ultimate betrayal. We needed to have another showdown, possibly even another government shutdown. The Wall Street Journal today has an editorial denouncing Ted Cruz for his shenanigans in the Senate related to
Well, why do they
this.
keep raising the debt limit? Why do they keep doing that? Why don't they just eliminate it altogether?
Well, this again, the Wall Street Journal has called for this as well, in the sense that it's not really a limit. It always gets raised, and it always leads to some sort of pointless political showdown down the road.
Is it pointless to have it?
Probably it is. Yeah, I mean, it's a relatively new phenomenon in that sense. There's no actual reason to have it in that capacity. Congress has the right to approve various expenditures or all expenditures anyway, so there's no real reason to have this artificial limit placed on debt.
Now, you see, Boehner cried coming in. I don't want to see Boehner crying going out, do you?
Well, yeah, I mean, just for the pure
That's a joke, by the way, but
painfulness of that that moment. But what's interesting is now that Eric Cantor, who's widely seen as more conservative than Boehner, has fallen afoul of a lot of these Tea Party supporters, too.
Yeah.
So it's unclear who they would actually like to see as Speaker, potentially.
Yeah. Good morning. You're on Connect With Me. Your question?
Yeah, I voted for Wendell Willkie, so I guess you could say I'm impartial on the subject. The president coming to town, he's going to, just like he was visiting the site of a hurricane or wildfire or a flood, he's visiting a part of the country that's suffering right now under a natural disaster. We might qualify as a federal disaster area. I think everybody's missing the point this morning. The president's coming to shine a light on the plight of the Central San Joaquin Valley and their water woes. So let's just consider ourselves a
okay, but the only caller, the only bone I have to pick with that is the fact that if what you are saying is true, okay, and I'm not saying it's not, then why not make a public appearance at some location where the public is invited? Let's hear him speak. What do you have to say about the drought?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I can see what you're saying, John. But what I'm thinking is, from a security point of view, maybe it's better to wait till tomorrow to announce where that location is going to be. And he probably is going to invite the public. He just doesn't want to go public with it too soon. I really don't know what the
I don't know
how the Secret Service operates, but it would make sense to me to keep it QT. Thanks. Bye.
All right. You weigh in on this?
Quite possibly. I mean, that is one consideration. We don't know exactly what the plan is, so it may be that there will be a public event. I think one issue with that may be that if this doesn't take place in the city of Fresno, there may not be enough public around, right, in one of these smaller communities that have been talked about. So we don't know. I mean, it's quite possible he will make a big public appearance. I would think that if that took place, it would be within Fresno, but we don't know. We honestly don't know.
Vladimir Putin. Let's move on to some other politics overseas. Of course, the Olympics going on in Sochi right now, and I've been reading quite a few articles. Let's roll the tape of Vladimir and talking about the Olympics coming to Russia.
Mr. President, members of the International Olympic Committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to address you today and to present the bid of Sochi to host the Olympic Winter Games in 2014. The bid has enthusiastic support of the whole of Russia. We pledge to make the stay of Olympians and Paralympians, spectators, journalists, guests in Sochi a safe, enjoyable, and memorable experience. Sochi is a unique place. On the seashore, you can enjoy a fine spring day, but up in the mountains, it's winter. I went skiing there 6 or 7 weeks ago, and I know real snow's guaranteed.
Vladimir Putin, of course, of Russia, and I've been reading quite a few articles on the internet about the Olympics and what's going on over there. And one of the articles was stating that we're looking at empty stands, Bradley. Not many people showing up for some of these events, but Vladimir Putin, to a certain extent, doesn't care what we think, what the West thinks. He's doing this because he wants to show his own people in Russia, look, me, Vladimir Putin, this is what I did for you. I brought the Olympics here. Are you buying that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Olympics have really become an international political football in a lot of ways, and the number of people that show up to these things is really irrelevant. In the London Olympics a couple of years back, there were empty stands at a lot of the events as well. So, the Olympics are not really for the spectators as much as they are for
politics.
Domestic politics. I mean, for the British, actually, it did very little domestically for them. It actually may have hurt the Labour Party in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's unclear sort of what role the Olympics plays in politics today. I mean, it's almost inconceivable in my mind that the U.S. would host an Olympics in the foreseeable future.
But will the Olympics, I guess my question is, in your opinion, do you think the Olympics will help prop him up, Putin?
Possibly. I mean, this is a country that's rapidly careening towards some form of state-run dictatorship, effectively. I mean, democracy is sort of on its back in Russia in the first place. So I don't know how much of an impact this will have. I mean,
because he appears to be, out and about, having a good time, enjoying the nightlife. I don't know if you saw some of that video.
Absolutely.
He's, drinking a beer or two. So I'm just wondering if he's just kind of flexing his muscles right now and showing, hey, I'm the guy in power. I brought these here. Aren't we having a good time?
Absolutely. I mean, the Olympics are a way for countries that want to send a certain message to the world, namely they're legitimate and strong and all of those things, that they have actually achieved that level of prosperity. So look at where they're coming up in the next few years. South Korea, and I believe Rio is the next one, right?
Rio de Janeiro in 2016.
Yeah, these are not countries that you traditionally associate with international sports, right?
How much will it prop them up financially, though? That's the question.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, the Olympics are almost always a wash when you figure it out, because what is it, it's hundreds of millions of dollars at a minimum for even some of these venues. Billions of dollars overall, right?
Yeah.
So there's no way the Russians are going to recoup anywhere close to this. The Olympics in London were a total loss financially for the British. It propped up the economy a little bit, but the British economy is barely even growing at this point.
Basically, it was just glorified PR.
It's glorified PR. That's absolutely what the Olympics are. And the dangerous thing, I mean, there's been some scholars who have written about this, but it's becoming a way for some kind of nasty regimes to try to prop themselves up too.
Okay, got to go. Out of time. Bradley Hart, thank you. Hey, come back again.
Absolutely.
All right, Bradley Hart talking about the president's visit and other political issues here on Connect with Me. We're back with another edition of this program on MeTV Fresno tomorrow. We're going to be talking about, well, marriage and family therapy. Yes, indeed. See you tomorrow.